Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Christo. This is Songs of Six. It's a new day. In the last episode, we secured our tool resource. Now, tools are incredibly important. I'm not sure I properly gave them their due in the last episode, but they're monumentally important. They can the amount that they impact different industries varies. But if we look at the production of fish, for example, they are giving us a flat 50% additive multiplier. And I'm not sure I really explained these perfectly well. If I tab out, then I can move my cursor around. Ah, you can't see my cursor. Never mind. But the way this works, when you have just one additive multiplier, it's very similar to having another multiplicative modifier. But when you have multiple additive modifiers, it's less good than gaining multiple multiplicative modifiers. Because multiplicative modifiers are modified together before they are applied, whereas additive modifiers are added together before they are applied. So obviously, the 12, you could read this as a 12 and a 40% modifier under multipliers, for one from deep sea and one from species, but that's not quite right, because you have to multiply them together. So it's 1 times 1.12 times 1.4. which gives you 1.56. You don't really need the 1 times at the beginning, now I think about it. Whereas for the additive multipliers, if we had a 0.5 indoctrination bonus, for example, we would end up with 1 plus 0.5, as opposed to 1 times 1.5 times 1.5, which should be quite a bit higher. But for now, it's pretty crazy. So we get a 50% boost to our output for fish, for example. For these crops, I'm not certain you actually... Oh yeah, you do. We get a 50% bonus to our fruit output, a 50% bonus to our pastures. And I had an idea, this is not a joke, while I was falling asleep last night. We right now have this issue where I can't really add more tilapies right now. I mean, I can, technically, but I don't think I should. That means I can't have more auroch pastures unless I'm willing to let another species work auroch pastures. I don't want to do that, ideally, but we can add other meat-producing pastures, potentially, and then have a different species work them. So as you can see, the humans and the piggy boys are really good at that. Another idea I had just after I ended recording yesterday is, right now we're using Cretonians as our itinerant workers, right? And that's partly because there's a couple of reasons. One of them is that Cretonians get along relatively well with other people. Dundorians get along with everyone except Garthimri. Garthimri don't get along with anybody really, except the Amevi and the big spiders. The Garthimris get along with everybody. That's interesting. I don't think sorry, not the humans, rather, get along with everybody relatively well. So that's pretty good. But remember, these are not bidirectional relationships. So the Garthimris don't like humans, but the humans kind of like the Garthimri. But I think what we're going to do is start using our Dundorians as our itinerant workers. And the reasoning for that is not based on who likes who, it's based on expectations. So we have 30 Dundorians, 0.294 expectations. Whereas it's 27 of these guys, we have 0.4191 expectations on the Cretonians. That's not really sustainable, right? As the whole population grows, if we have all of them with the same number of people, the Dundorians will have lower expectations. So if we have to choose one population to expand, let's make it the Dundorians, basically. That also means that I can have areas that really cater to a large number of Dundorians, like having, the right shrines for them and things, are going to be easier to maintain. Oh, that's right, we have metal. I can finally put lighting in here so it doesn't look so friggin' dark. Good. We'll do that too. But yeah, right out of the gate, can I see how you guys are employed? Can I get a... I'm not sure I can see very easily a breakdown of specifically how one species is currently employed. Can I get it from the fulfillment tab? No, because that's just showing they're doing it. Ah, hang on. I can do it from here, can't I? Yes. Okay. So we can see that our Crutonians... Oh, no, it's just giving numbers. That's weird. From here, it tells me how many people are working in each area. But when I specialize, it won't tell me anymore. If I hover, it tells me. It tells me a percentage, though. So 67% of all of our Crutonians are currently working in the service industry, basically. And I'm considering... basically, yeah, janitors, so that's technically a government job. But basically the service industry, I've been calling them itinerant workers. Maybe I'll switch to calling them service workers. But service workers and government workers, I think we're going to pivot to being Dondorians. We can see we have, you know, not much free labor right now. So we will need to let some more Dondorians come into the settlement. I think I am also going to give everyone... you can do it from here, right? If I go access... Yeah, okay, so presumably when I change this, it only applies to those who can actually have it. But yeah, everyone can have one piece of furniture. And now I've done it there, I assume it does it on everyone who can have furniture. Yes, everyone can have one piece of furniture, just because it makes their homes look a bit less like hovels with the straw on the ground and stuff. You can get some proper bedding going. That should make them happier, and we have a pretty good production of that right now. But yeah, so the big shift that's going to happen in this episode... Is it helpful, by the way? Tell me in the comments. I'm curious. Is it interesting when I tell you what I'm going to do in an episode? Because I often find myself, you know, being wrong about what I actually end up doing. But I'm curious. It's kind of helpful for me, though, sitting... I mean, the problem is, of course, I set myself goals more kind of for a play session compared to for an episode. And I could just do, like, 3-hour episodes. But, I mean... It's harder to remember where you were, right? When you're trying to watch through a longer episode. Anyway, I'm going to aim to switch over from Crutonians to Dondorians. In the process, who's good at farming mushrooms, by the way? Because mushrooms would be good for some of our food preferences, but I think I have a vague recollection that they're really unproductive. Oh no, they do not dislike working in mushroom farms. Okay, good, and they're pretty good at it. We haven't got any nobles, do we? Nobles are very work in progress. Let me look at mushroom farming. Mushroom farms. Yeah, they're not bad at it. They're less fulfilled by it than the other jobs, but still 50% fulfillment is fine. Do you like it? No. Does anyone like working in mushroom farms? No, actually. Or maybe one of you two? No. No one really likes working in mushroom farms. Fair enough. But yeah, I think we will set some of those up. Maybe I should stop setting up new food types. I don't know. I mean, our people they're pretty happy with food preference as is already. I mean, there's a point to be gained there, but the thing about meeting food preference needs is you don't just have to produce, you know, some of the thing. You have to produce, really, the same amount of each good. Otherwise, occasionally, they're going to show up wanting one thing, but if you have a disproportionate quantity of each being produced. But yeah, the other thing I should do is I should stop making more food for a bit until we actually have, like, a serious problem. And then when we have a problem, I should make it such that we're making an even amount of each food. Oh yeah, I was going to make a spreadsheet, wasn't I? Maybe I'll do that after this episode or something. Because I would like to put in a spreadsheet that says, like, okay, there's, 30 Dondorians. Dondorians like eating bread, fish, mushrooms. That means you need to have, that would be 5 bread, meat, and mushrooms available per day for the 30 Dondorians. And then plug all that data in and just say, here's how many per day you should be making of each thing. And then obviously add 15% to allow for stockpiling or something like that. But I think that would be a handy spreadsheet to have. If I do make that, by the way, it will have been, and I think it's any good, I will link it in the first episode of this series so that you can use it if you want to. It will be a Google Sheet. Probably. Because I think I cancelled my Excel subscription. I didn't play Black Ice as much as I expected to. Anyway, let's play the video game, shall we? We need some lighting. That's my top priority right now. Because this stuff looks janky when there's no lighting here. So, I forget if you actually need lighting in rooms and how it works when you build it into rooms. But let's use this. Yeah, we should have made... Well, this is actually wider. It's just hard to see, but... Yeah, what's... D's assigned Shift D, Alt D. We could do with a shortcut key for this. Left Shift H for decorations. Why did I do that? Let's make it Alt D for decoration. Yeah, I think I'm going to put one like here so that people coming to and forth and these guys hanging out are a bit lit. And then we will try embedding one into a room and see how that goes. Metal is still expensive, so I don't want to go over top on these. Maybe I won't do that, actually. Put one here. That covers most of this area. If we put one here and then one up here, that should give this area some good coverage. Do Garthimries like lighting? They do. Yes, it's liked. Does anyone dislike lighting? Humans like it. And we do like these in places. Okay, the elves don't care for it. You like it. Everyone else likes it. Okay, you like it as well, yeah? Yeah, everyone likes lighting. Okay. So if we could have... It's difficult on this map mode to tell sometimes what is... Like, that is wall, but it's a bit difficult to see. So we'll put one here, and one over by the other mine. I need to remind myself what those things look like. Yeah, I don't want to put it right up against the shrine, but I think I am going to end up doing so. So that covers that bit, that covers that bit. And then maybe... Oh, that looks pretty cool. If I put it there, will it remove the roundness? It'll be a good experiment. I think it will remove the roundness, just like a single point doesn't have a roundness value. But let's see. And yeah, eventually we'll redesignate this as well once we switch to having more Dundorians. So the ambition for this episode is get more Dundorians, and then in the process of getting them, slowly switch over jobs, kind of one at a time, so that Cretonians are no longer doing it. And the Cretonians, they're obviously predominantly farmers. We'll also have them doing some ranching, and then they will also be they're still going to do odd jobbing, basically. The Cretonians, I think. All right, some pause. Let's get that done. So yeah, should I put lighting? I need to work out what the upkeep of a building is. Like this shrine degrades. How fast does degradation happen? Like, can I see what you've used recently? All rooms degrade. Degradation can increase further with large rooms constructed without adequate ceiling support. And a lack of isolation also increases it. Base 0.75. Support. Okay. Doesn't really answer my question. Where is a... Stop clicking on the elf. This... What's that checkbox? Oh, that's the auto-employ one. It's difficult for me to know. The base is 0.75. I don't know when it... I know that the maintenance costs in goods of an item are a fraction of the... of the materials required to build the room, and that includes upgrades to the room. But is there a load map, by the way? There definitely should be. That would be so helpful. Urbanization. Don't think that map mode does anything yet. Or perhaps we don't have any urbanization. Workload, there it is. Oh, that's... Oh, well, sorry, this is workload, not... Interesting that your workload is so low. Yeah, you want 100% most of the time. Yeah, load would be a great map mode. I'm going to go and ask about degradation on the Discord and pause the recording and be right back. Alright, we'll see if the Discord has an idea. I've also suggested the load map mode. There definitely isn't one, is there? No, good. There is a maintenance map mode. Does a maintenance map mode tell you? No, it's just what's being maintained. Okay. Fair enough. One other thing. Oh yeah, these torches. I forgot to pause while I was doing some of the writing. The torches are up. It looks so cool. Love the light coming out of them. Makes it feel much more alive in here. Cool, cool. I am curious. Let's speed up time a bit. Threat over. Oh yes, they stole from me. Our security is back up to 100 though. By the way, because we have obscurity. They've changed the calculation. By they again, I just mean Jake. It feels odd saying they when it's one person, but so there is now raid deterrent, which is different from what it used to be, I think. So there's no... Oh, was that already there? I think that might have already been there. But yeah, it looks like we're not going to get raided until we are substantially richer. And yes, I was wondering what affects the value of stuff when it's calculating your wealth. Based on the latest patch notes, it is the average value of a good to all the factions in the world. And the reason why it was much higher than it should have been recently on recent patches is because when a faction had none of that good, the price that they were willing to pay to get any went crazy. Yeah, we should have a while. Okay, let's think about... Sorry, I just spent way too long looking at maintenance stuff on the Discord. I can't see any reference to the exact calculation, but that's okay. Let's think about letting in some more Dundorians. And then basically doing what it takes to make them happy, basically. We're just going to focus on getting a bunch more Dundorians in, because the Dundorians are eating their bread, they're eating their meat. Oh, sorry, are they then? No, they're eating their bread and fish, which right now are our most plentiful foods. They can eat the other stuff, but they will prioritize eating bread and fish as long as they have it. Okay, speed 3. Okay, we have some homeless tilapis. Why is that? Because I did not designate this correctly. We shouldn't have any... Why were they living over there anyway? They have space over here, I guess because it's closer to this fishery. That makes sense. Okay, so yeah, security looks like we're gonna have full security for quite a long time. You do still get some raids, even with maxed out security, but yeah, should be okay for some time. But yeah, we want more Dundorians. What do we got? We got housing for 50 Dundorians. So let's let in up to 50 Dundorians. Just keep having them pour in. Good. Now they're not thrilled about the prospect of working in the service industry. They like working at taverns. But that's okay. They're good physicians. Is everyone good physicians? Yeah, everyone's a good physician. That's true, actually. We had the first person fall sick recently. Maybe I should invent a physician. But I think... yeah, we can get healthcare for hospitals. Then you can get physicians later. We don't have much science available, so it's important. Yeah, we should unlock a hospital, I think. But then hospitals take... oh no, they don't take opium. Okay. Oh yeah, they do. There we go. Yeah, it costs opium and cloth to build a hospital. Okay. You know what? No. Forget that. How do you do it again? Right click? No. How do you forget something? Hold and click. Hold blank and click this technology. Damn. I appear to have gotten rid of that shortcut key. Modulates certain functions, like the mouse wheel. You'd think it was that. Damn it. How could I change that? I feel like this happened to me before and I figured it out. Place undo. Alternative tools when using a tool. Let's try that. We'll make it, I don't know, square bracket. Maybe it was that. Oh, hang on, there's more than general there as well, so I can... Yeah, it was that! He's a genius. There we go. Okay. Get rid of that because we need to set opium up before we can start doing that. We could do bathhouses, though. I think that is something that everybody wants. And it does help with hygiene. Sanitation, rather. We know of 3 diseases. The bleeding fever, the plague, and the white shimmer. So right now, hygiene, health, and sanitation are pretty good. I don't know what number represents going below 100%. One might think. So maybe I don't need to worry about this for a while, but we will be able to meet, and you can see the Dundorians getting less happy, obviously, as we bring more and more of them in. But yeah, having access to bathhouses is a pretty relatively impactful thing. So let's have a look at that. Bathhouse, which is under health. Yes, bathhouse. Oh, it takes freaking cut stone. Okay, fine. Forget that. Forget this technology. You do lose the available knowledge when you do that, but they just re-earn it again. So it's not too much of a big deal. Now there were some upgrades, were there not, that we could make without tech? Yes, so there's mines you can upgrade without tech. Refined smelting, lose. We need posh relief for that. Right, warehouses are one. I want more storage in the Taylor and Furniture warehouse. It wouldn't hurt to have a bit of a bigger buffer on some of these things. We're also not using all these crates, which maybe I should be using for something else for the guys down here. You know what we should have? We have tools right here, so it's kind of close enough. Let's put some tools. We need really some tools in all of our warehouses, so that when people need, you know, a refresh of tools, they don't have to go as far. Can you get tools at a marketplace? No. Okay. Clothes we can do at a marketplace, but we might want to put a marketplace over for these guys as well. Now I think about it, it could be beneficial for our miners. We still, yeah, we're producing way more coal than we need. But I don't really want to let these guys be unemployed. Need more markets. They want more cannibalism. Sorry, buddy. You're not going to get that. I know, I'm such a demanding overlord. So the roundness confirmed. Yes, the roundness has been removed from these by adding in that thing in the middle. That is unfortunate. It still looks kind of cool. But I think I will, therefore, remove these. And then fill in like that. So there's still plenty of roundness in the vicinity. Seems okay. Now, something else that we've established is that I'm not really sure why you would ever use haulers. I think part of the idea is because they pick up from the ground. So if you were, if I wanted to move all these rocks, I'd put a hauler here. And then, but the haulers pull to themselves. So I guess you'd put a hauler here to pick them off the ground. And another hauler here to drag the stuff from them. But I'm being told that delivery men have the same carrying capacity as... Hang on, did I just see us? I need to... Yeah, I'm gonna have a look at some of these guys for a minute. You are a hauler waiting for work. Which one do you work at? You this one or this one? You're the coal hauler. And you're not doing anything. Because there's nothing to fetch. We can also set range on these things. Right? That's where it's going. I should name these warehouses. We're really going to have to start naming stuff more diligently to keep track of the new logistical system, I think. So this is like central metalworking, basically. I think that makes sense. You are ore hauler. Oops. You are coal hauler. By the way, can I switch right away to using this? No, I need more tech. So we can use half as much coal as we have to use wood in order to fire the furnaces of our bakery. And our production of wood per person is 10.5. And our production of coal per person is 5.7. So I don't know why you would not just burn wood. Maybe there's more bonuses to be had in coal mining than in wood cutting. I guess wood is also, you know, in certain climes, wood might be harder to come by. Ooh, 100% load on this this loo. It's interesting. I guess it's because it's where all the elves are having to go, and it is kind of central. Oh, that's right. It's no, it's not where you guys are going. Might need to expand that a bit. But it's Dundorian happiness that we're focused on right now. The load on the Dundorian loos is still fine. Oh, this well has reached 100% though. Could upgrade that. I need the tech, of course. Could also just make it bigger, actually. Let's do that. Let's put a nice big central well in. Oh, that's huge. It looks fun. Let's do that. Then pave the area around it a bit better. There we go. Remove just one of those so that it smooths out this curve a little bit better. Nice. What's that? Is that a desire path? Or are you throwing you're throwing stuff at the actors? Okay, fair enough. Also upgrade this. Presumably that's tech as well. No, it doesn't need tech. Okay, it just needs some cut stone. Some stone mining and some cut stone manufacture is definitely on the cards. It's something that we should be working towards. Okay, so we've got a number of Dundorian odd jobbers right now, which we'd rather not have. Let's switch them over to being Praetorians. How do we do that? We go service by service. So food stalls, first off. Let's have the Dundorians do them as the highest priority. And we will have fallbacks. I think, is that how I want to do it? Or do I just want to say, like, no, never do this? I think we do it that way. Yeah, so we should now see, we'll basically have none working here soon. Yeah, it's switched over. How do I see the 12% there? I think, is that the share of your Dondorians who are currently working there? I think that's what it is. I'm not sure. If I look at you... Yes. Okay, I think that's what it is. 12% of my Dondorians are now working, manning our food stalls. And that is a total of 5 of them. So now I would expect to see... Yes, we have 3 Cretonian odd jobbers now. Cool. So then, same with markets. But we shouldn't have these at top. Well... Yeah, the problem with having it be my Dondorians is that if I have these as top priority for the Dondorians, as soon as I have a Dondorian shortage, they're going to stop doing manufacture before they stop doing services. But that probably does make sense. Like, food is a higher priority. But making sure our food stalls and markets and things run. Because I don't think there is an alert for, like, jobs not being done when you do have odd jobbers available. Because I think the game is kind of not really designed around you saying, never do this. So I guess what I'll do is I'll say, yeah, okay, here's what I'll do. I'll say Dondorians work service jobs, and in the fullness of time when there are taverns and restaurants, I want you to work them as well. And lavatories and all that. But work industry stuff at a higher priority than that. So, yeah, you have the best skill out of people we're going to have in the short term on all of these, basically. Yeah. Yeah. So, crank that to the max. Yeah, you can work still working the clay pits up there. Maybe I'll switch over the clay pits to Cretonians. No, because they really don't like that. But yeah, we'll have manufacture, not boas, because that's going to be Talapis, isn't it? Yeah. But yeah, carpenters, jewelers, masons, mechanics. You're not as happy about this as some things, but still the best. Paper makers, isn't that a human job? No, you make the paper, the humans use it, okay? Yeah, still you here. And ration makers. Yep, still you. Smiths, tailors. All that stuff is 100% top of the line. And cannibals, we're not gonna use cannibals. But then we go, hey, you lads, on the service stuff, we just take it down a bit. bit more, like halfway. I do like the fine-tuning. Can you click drag? Oh, yes, we'll do stages as well. All this stuff, go down to halfway. And then you guys are kind of, you know, call it whatever. 3/4. And I'll make it a bit more, just so that it lines up nicely. The bars look good. I kind of prefer RimWorld's numbers, but the bars do look good. Yeah, we'll put those at 3/4. So the idea is, if we run out of Dundorians, the first thing they stop doing is food stalls, which fall back to being Kryptonians. And if I'm designating places like this as Dundorian housing, then we are very likely to get homelessness. But the homelessness won't affect our main species, it'll affect the piggy boys. Because, you know, step one on the kind of job sector breaking down is the Dundorians stop working service jobs and the Kryptonian odd jobbers take over. And then step 2 is the Kryptonians hit their limit, and then we start having these being unworked. But before we get to step 2, I should get homelessness notifications, because little things I've set up like this, which will become now little Dundorian outposts manning the service industry in the local areas, we will get notified about that before it fully breaks down. I think that's a... Do I say so myself? I think that's a rather neat way of handling things. So yeah, now we can see we've suddenly got 38% of all Dundorians working in the service industry. And we need to do the same for... Oh, hang on. There are different... Haulers, I think, might be an exception, because they have carry capacities that I think are different. Conservation, robustness, safety, hygiene, furnishing, raid deterrent, deflation, immigration, battle, behavior, lawfulness, submission, loyalty, happiness, how fast they accelerate. That's kind of useful for carrying stuff as well, I guess. Maybe that's just in combat, but it's like Dundorians. 3, so 4.53. Garthimries 6.3, so faster speed on Garthimries. Humans 4.5, Talapis 6. So Talapis would be good at hauling jobs. Their weight is lower. They don't seem to have a carrying capacity. Maybe individual species don't have carrying capacities. Hang on, there's rates. How much their needs increase daily, but I think most of these are the same across species. I really thought they had a carrying capacity. So the question is, do I want to use Talapis to do hauling jobs? Because Dundorians are quite a bit slower. We compare like with like here. Yeah, the Dundorians are kind of 50% slower or so, roughly. They're less submissive slaves. Yes, they would be able to haul easier. But Talapis are so hard to keep happy. How are Kryptonians in this same field similar? No, okay, I guess the Dundorians are going to be hauling then. Or maybe we keep Kryptonians hauling. I don't know. I want to have one service worker, and ideally one service worker and one government worker species. More or less, not embassies and things, because all the government work that needs doing in lots of different places around the map, I don't want to have to provide different housing for lots of different people, lots of different species in lots of different places. So yeah, I think we will go, hey, Dundorians. Embassies, everyone has equal skill. Yeah, so you're probably going to work embassies, going to work these, but it's less important. Schools, you can have multi-species schools, can't you? So we probably will do that. We'll have like specifically a child area, basically. But yeah, stockades and guard posts are really important. So maybe I have multiple Yeah, I think I need these guys as a fallback on guard posts and all this lore-based stuff. Although don't Talapis love lore? No, they all seem to love it evenly. Okay. So yeah, Dundorians. Courts are important, but I feel like our primary industries are more important than lore. Army supply depots. Yeah, we'll have Dondorians work those. Maybe we'll need to change this again in the future and go back to using more Crotonians. But look how many more Dondorians we can have than Crotonians right now. Yeah, so warehouses. Warehouses are really important. Everything breaks down if the warehouses aren't worked, so let's prioritize them. Similar for export. Similar for haulers. Similar for transports. And now you guys... Oh, did I turn you guys off on transports, actually? That wasn't my intention, but... Yeah, you are the backup on those things and on army supply. Cool. Fine. And actually embassies and inns and schools. Or the backup squad. Now in terms of free workers, it's kind of even split between the two. Good. Our clay pit is managing, making 6.4 per day. So if I allowed our Geothimries a little bit of clay, 56, 4.6. Yeah, I think we can actually afford to do this and make them really happy because now they have a bunch of clay. Anyway, sorry, I feel like I got pretty badly sidetracked there. The reason I started this conversation is because the central metalworking, I don't think we need haulers. Which, now to prove that, I need to see you haul. It's fetching resources. Now, how can I tell? I mean, he's moving relatively slowly. I really should be using Talapis, right? If they're so much faster. Now, he's storing goods. How much are you carrying, my man? 8 ore. Okay. Now, if I say this warehouse, right now it just fetches from those ones opposite. Haul, fetch from there. Pull whatever you can. Yes. Pull whatever you can out of there, except, well, no, don't pull. There shouldn't ever be any metal up there anyway. But yeah, pull these two out whenever you can. Now, where is your worker? Here he is. He's watching a performance right now. Let's just speed up time. Oh, what's he doing? Waiting for work. Okay. Now, the question is, can he carry 8 resources? Or does the fact that he's a hauler... He's going off to worship. Or does the fact that he's a hauler mean something different? Is there really not any work? There's no ore here? No, there's no ore here right now. Okay. Now there's some. I guess he has to wait for there to be 8. A new level, a new title. Nice. A Prontix, a conqueror. It's time we look to our offensive capabilities. A military depot and a ration maker. Cool. Waiting for work, waiting for work. I guess he's storing goods. Okay, so now he's going to go, but he's probably just taking some coal, isn't he? Oh, but I can see what he's carrying. So he's carrying 2 coal. Okay, that's a good sign that the haulers are necessary then. So let me unemploy both the haulers. Keep following this guy. Because with the haulers unemployed, no one's going to be competing with him to get the ore from the other place. And this warehouse is... Oh, he's off. He's off. He's fetching resources. So this place is not full on ore. So, and there is... How much here? 10 here. So if he were able to carry 8, he should now pick up 8. He's got 9. Bollocks. What the hell? Okay, I guess his carry capacity is higher than we think. Okay. So let me store... maybe it weighs different amounts. Add some more... Oh, we're full on crates here. Lower the amount of ore you can put here. Increase the amount of coal. Of course, he's just going to go and get coal from over here. Damn it. Well, here, he'll empty that. Oh, he's gone again. I should have just seen how much he took just from there. I don't know why I'm forcing myself to wait for him to get it. All the way over here. Okay, so there's enough coal he should be able to pick up his max carrying capacity. which it seems is 12. Okay. Now, where's he fetching it from? Just here? And he got 12 again. Okay, so I think 12 is his carrying capacity. Now, you can lower the amount of coal you store there again. Then I can re-employ these guys. Does it actually say in the tooltip? The tooltips, you can't totally trust them in betas, but... Because if these guys really can only carry 8, they're kind of horrendous, right? And you... Let's remove... How do I remove one of these? There we go. Now, this worker... Where are you? Where's my all hauler? Here he is. Okay. So he's coming along. He's off to fetch some ore. No, he's waiting for work. Because this place doesn't have enough. Alright, hang on. Yeah, let's unemploy him for a minute. And let's let ore accumulate here. So he can definitely grab all that he needs to. Nothing to fetch, nothing to fetch. Does this guy need... Do we need a worker here? Does he fetch from these warehouses, or do the people at the these mines, or do the mine people automatically put it in? That's something else we should establish. Where are you going? You're just chilling. Off to relax with your Dundorian buddies. Fair enough. Now, we have some ore here. 22 ore. So, we employ someone here. We wait for it to actually designate someone. Dung, 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 dung. There we go. Here he is. A Dundorian hauler. He's waiting for work. Work exists already, my man. What are you waiting for? Maybe he just hasn't recalculated yet? Where'd he go? Here he is. Okay. He's storing goods. Check he's right. He is serving your grace as a hauler. Okay, and he has 12. Okay. So given that they can both carry 12, what is the use case of a hauler? Just picking stuff up off the ground? Okay, so I'm going to ask in case I'm missing something about the haulers, but next thing I want to test, are the tilapis actually faster? And how do I test that? I mean, speed 1, let's just see if it's intuitively obvious. If it's a 50% speed bonus, we really ought to be able to see it. Like you, Dundorian, you should have a speed of 4.5. Oh, but he's carrying something. People are slower when they're carrying stuff. That's worth noting. He's an odd job of just moving some wood around. Now he looks faster than this guy. But hang on, he's carrying something. I mean, that's pretty fast. I could try timing them. Is that faster? It's hard to tell. I need someone not carrying something. Here we go. You're walking to your job. Oh, I didn't know there was a slow-mo mode. There's like if you click speed 3 and then you click it again, it goes super speed. If you click speed 1 and then you click it again, it goes slow-mo. But hang on, you have nothing on you, and you are carrying nothing. Is this person faster than this person? You are supposed to be slower, right? Yeah. What do we reckon? Let's count tiles. So he's in this tile. To go down some tiles takes... Oh, I need to go slow mo there. Oh, he's doing something. How can I... How can I set up a time trial? Oh, hang on, isn't there like a battle simulator in the main menu? Hang on, let me look into this. I thought there was a battle simulator that we could... I know how we can do it. I hope you don't mind, like, being along for the ride on some of this testing, by the way. But I think it's fun. So if we start as Tilapis, and we generate a random world, and we settle, you know, whatever, here. Somewhere kind of relatively connected to the world's roads. And we launch in. And then we start the game. We build some houses out of mud. Just so that people aren't homeless. We speed the game up. We should eventually get offered some immigrants, and I just need an immigrant of any other species. Yeah, there we go. So let a Dundorian in. Okay, and then let the Dundorian... more Dundorians? No. Let the Dundorian arrive. Here he is. And then I assign... Let's just save. Test. And then we assign some felled tree orders over here. Okay. Now, race. Go try and fell the trees. Oh, they're off. They're off. Come on. I just need one of you guys to set off at kind of the same time that Dundorian does. Come on. You can send more than 3 people. They're sending more to chop lumber. More. Come on, send the Dundorian. Oh, okay. He's chopping lumber. Okay. So, okay, no, he's clearly slower. Look at that. That's crazy. Now the question, next question, is their speed set to a lower number when they are carrying something? Or, and how will I tell that? I'll need a warehouse. With some crates in it. And a door. Or a big row of doors. So they can access it equally for that side. So the question is, when they're carrying something they're slowed down, is that a multiplier on their speed? Or is it just their speed is set to a low number? So if we have a nice warehouse for them to put the wood into, we should... Where's my Dundorian? How do I do this? Here he is. Okay. So now we should see some of them set off back towards the warehouse with the wood. Oh, where do you go? He's here, isn't he? Yeah. Okay. So that's enough. Well, let's let them chop down some wood for a while. Okay, that's enough. Now cancel all the wood chopping. So the warehouse fetches from the ground. Where's my Dundorian gone? Oh, he's going home to sleep. Leisure time. Damn it. Let's focus the camera on him. So I know when he's carrying something. Dude, how much leisure time do you think you deserve? Skinny dipping? I guess I can just keep an eye on his job here. Until it says, you know, carrying stuff. 14-year-old Dundorian. Oh, he was doing something for a second there. He's starving. Yeah, that's a fair problem. Fair problem. Well, hang on. Let me look at your properties. Speed. Here we go. He has the lazy trait as well. Ambitious. Leather armor, bow, and species can change it. So I just need anyone carrying something and then see if it adds like a I'm carrying something thing. No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, we need a... Give me another warehouse. So I can make it easier for them to carry something. Yeah, a bunch of doors. Get that built. They may all starve to death. We'll have to start again. Capital closed. Yeah. Whoops. They are also all starving to death, which is not ideal. Hang on. You can forage for some of these. It's the wrong season. They may all die. We'll have to start the test again, but that's okay. Just build this. Also, I could just find some Tilapis carrying stuff in my current settlement. Now I think about it, actually. Yeah, let's just do that. Go back to Custodians 11. Alright. So, if I go here, I can sort. Didn't you used to be able to sort this? Oh, here we go. It's just saying sort. It would say what it was sorting by if I was sorting by something. Filter by Tilapi. Herding, tending, walking, tending, relaxing, working, relaxing, tending. Really no one is carrying anything? Damn it. Okay, do you not... Oh, hang on, how about you? You're carrying something, so if I go to your properties, your physics, speed is not being updated when they're carrying something. Even though he is clearly moving slower when he's carrying something. That's unfortunate. Is it somewhere else? Like, is the fact that he's carrying something? Carrying capacity of all logistical workers. Species +4. Ooh, okay. There it is. You. He can carry quite a bit less. Okay. So, who else? Not a Dundorian. Piggy Boy. He can carry +2. You back down to 8. Garthimries. You even less. Species -2. Okay, so the Dundorians are strong. How about the humans? Humans worse again. No bonus. Did I check on Amalfi already? I did. Okay, so yes, the Dundorians are slower, but they can carry more. So using the Dundorians for my warehouse workers is very much validated as the right idea. Okay, and yes, I don't understand why I would use these. I can see why I would use them to gather resources from the ground, but I think partly that's because the latest logistical overhaul, the player base was kind of really not happy with it, and the dev basically reversed or quite significantly tweaked it, which reversed some of its intended effects. I think if that hadn't been done, maybe then the haulers would make more sense, basically. But as is, I think we don't need haulers. Okay, and yeah, I do want roads. I want to pave the entrances to all of these buildings. Okay, and we're up to 50 Dundorians, and they're happy. We could even have more of them. Amazing. So let's check now. Cretonians, what jobs are you still doing? There's still some in the service industry. There's still some in the markets. Oh, I haven't dropped your the market priority. Yes, so you're the backups on all of these things, and the Dundorians are slightly more priority. Good. Now, government work. You are still my janitorial staff. We would like to switch that over as well. Although, should we? Yeah, we should, because we have to have janitors all over the place. Maybe in the future. You know what I'd like in the future, actually? Yeah, we can get like a kind of ploppable, would be the city skylines term. A ploppable thing here, which has room for both Dundorians and Cretorians to live in. And the Cretorians are the local janitors. Because we don't really need Dundorians to be janitors, but yeah, because now we have almost all Cretonian people without jobs. So yes, Dundorians, you are... Yeah, everyone should be fine on workstations. Workstations are basically ways of helping you keep odd jobbers in a particular area. I wonder if water pumping is... No, water pumping is the same on all species. Okay. But yeah, janitors... We don't need janitors to be good at carrying stuff. Oh, no, you kind of do, actually. Because they need to fetch stuff for their repairs. So, yeah, Dundorian janitors seems good. Them as the backup. As long as the backup is... I should have standardized where I was putting, like, backup numbers. But then relative to each other, they also kind of need to be set, but it's complicated. So yeah, 22% of our Cretonians are employed in farming, and that represents all of our Cretonian employment. The rest of them are all completely unemployed, which is why their happiness has tanked, because they are no longer employed. We have a bunch of Cretonian odd jobbers. So, what do we do next? We will, I know things are looking kind of ugly here. We just have this big row of things. Trust me, I don't like it either. I think what we should do is just, I want to kind of slowly iterate. Basically, when I next build a tailor, I will try and build it in a more aesthetically pleasing way, basically. By trying to get everything established is fine. And then, the process of iterating and rebuilding and having to find space, I think it's fun. It results in more interesting layouts. So, we have two problems is a strong word for it. We have two situations that I want to work on now. One is clothes production is it's positive, but it's not kind of resoundingly positive. I would like to be able to equip my people with more clothes. Secondly, we have a bunch of Kryptonians with no jobs that they like. So, my theory is we're going to set up a cotton industry. We're going to grow some cotton, which Kryptonians love doing, and then we'll turn that cotton into leather. We'll weave that cotton, and then we will turn it into, the thing you make with cloth, and then we'll turn the cloth into clothes. So right now, the manpower requirements of our tailor are, it takes, what's the recipe here? So we can turn 3 leather into 2 clothes. So 1.5 per. This, we can reduce that to 1.25, which is good, obviously. So we can produce it slightly faster, but also the best way to produce leather is this. Well, it's not technically true. The hunter produces more. Yeah, hunter produces 1 base per worker, whereas this produces 0.9 per worker, but still. So that's 0.9 leather per worker. Obviously, you get other stuff out of it, so it's not a complete bust. But for specializing, obviously, 3 cotton per worker, and, the 0.25 input good per clothes reduction is pretty tasty. And actually, did I even get that right? Because, yeah, no, I did get that right. Yeah. But then, of course, you have to make fabric, and actually, now I think about it, I bet fabric costs more than 1 into it. No, it's 1 to 1. Okay, nice. Seems good. Right, sorry, I got distracted onto Discord again. Way too much chatter about when you should use haulers and when you should use workshops. It's interesting. The room to pull from is invalid. Right, good point. It doesn't automatically remove things when you remove a building. All right. I'm going to resist going back to Discord to suggest that they add that, because that's obviously something which would be useful. So, we want to scale up our clothes production. Let's look into that. We don't want to build over this clay mine. Do we have another clay mine? We do. Is it any better? No, it's... actually, yes, it's much better. This is like 18%, isn't it? No, it's kind of similar. But what I'm learning is... it's not imperative that I keep more of this clay available, because if we really need it, we can go and set up a little enclave down there. Good. So how much clay is being used these days? Yeah, we're producing some. There was a huge downturn because we gave it up in spoils, that's right. Have the Garthimri finished gathering up their clay? No. They've consumed none of it, probably because we're not storing it here. Okay. We could have this pull from a clay warehouse. Where am I putting clay right now? Just in central storage? Yeah. Yeah, there's no reason not to have this warehouse pull from central storage. Let's do that. Pulling from this. Oh, right, my test fish hauler. Oh, no, that was just how I'm getting fish over here. Right, so now that we've learned some more stuff about how, as far as I can tell, haulers are kind of strictly worse. Although, this fish, what speed is it spoiling? Can I tell? It does say it has a crate. So maybe it is counting as stored? I think it might count as stored. Okay, that makes haulers less bad than I thought. What is my hauler hotkey? I didn't do one. It's fine, I'll just shift click here. Because you can make them really big. Maybe they're not as bad as I thought. But anyway, yeah, you should be pulling from central storage to get your fish. And you can pull from it whenever. If central storage is getting empty, we have bigger problems. Then remove that. And remove that. Good. You can have more than 4, by the way, I think. Maybe I should test that. Just pull from yourself a bunch of times, and then I can expand this list. Can I now add more? This order is cyclic. Yeah, look, he's just moving stuff around. That's funny. Maybe you can't have more than 4. I assumed because you could expand this list that you could have more than 4. But maybe you can't. Okay. Cloth. So, how much clothes do we need? Did I make a formula of how much food we needed in the end? No. Okay, I'm actually going to... I think I'm going to call the episode here. But for the next episode, I'm going to make a spreadsheet which calculates a whole bunch of things, which I think will be fun. For me, anyway. But you probably don't want to watch me do it, so I'll just show you it. I'm going to go do that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.